Okay, now we're recording. So we're going to, and I didn't make a sample this time because yesterday we were setting up the wood kiln and I was too tired to make it. So you will just have to watch this unfold.
I do, I have this.
We've seen them before in the studio though,
I
right?
know,
There's-
yeah, it's a not a very well-kept secret.
Yeah, I have this.
Yeah, oh, nice, Jan. That's one Jan made. Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Jan, talk so I can see it.
Here. Here we
Can you-
go.
Can
It's
you
on
see
the,
it now?
Did you
Okay.
form it over a pan, or did you form it inside the pan?
this was over one of her plaster bowls.
Okay.
And then it kind of flattened out when I took it off.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Can you hold it up again, Jan? And turn it a little bit? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, show them the
Oh.
bot inside. Yeah, pretty, huh?
Yeah,
And then the
that's nice.
back looks like that.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
nice. I might consider.
Katya, when do you come back?
Pretty soon. I'm actually really kind of ready to come home now.
Yay.
Hard to believe. People are like, "Well, why
What
don't you just-"
island? You're on the big island, correct?
Yeah, I try to explain to people here that I have a life that I really enjoy and I'm ready to go home to it. Monday, we leave Monday and I'll be
Oh,
in
really?
Seattle a few days and then I'll be there.
Great. Are they going to check out your foot while you're in Seattle?
Yeah, I need to
Nice.
do a and a year follow-up on my neck.
Wow.
That's right, a year.
Dinner
Geez,
already?
Yeah.
crazy.
So Mary Jane, what do you think of this size bowl?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
You could use the back. You might want to use the back.
Okay.
Let's see what size. Wow,
It's just a small salad bowl.
That's
Uh-huh.
nice.
that's a big salad bowl.
Oh, okay. I hope my clay will go over it.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's why we'll put it on. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come to the edge.
Okay. Okay.
And you can do it inside or outside. It doesn't really matter. It's just you want to be sure to put your cheesecloth on the side that you're putting your clay on.
Okay, I have it here. Is a single layer okay, or should I have 2 layers of cheese?
Probably a single layer is okay because we're not pressing it down really hard.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our piece of clay. And we have our knife to cut it with. You can use an X-Acto or the fettling knife. And we're going to, for the bread basket, I think my tendency is to make the strips for the basket narrow, but I think it works better to do it the way Jan did and have them relatively wide.
Yeah,
So,
they're like a ½ inch.
right, I'm going to make mine a little narrower than that just because that's how I like it. So I'm just going to cut the long way and then I'm going to cut it into a series of strips.
Oh, you don't even use a ruler.
I think I'm gonna.
No, you can. I kind of like a little bit more free form. If you want it to be really exacting, then you should use a ruler, but it's not that important to me. So I'm going to cut. And also the overall shape, whether it's round or not quite round, doesn't bother me that much either. So if you want it to be round, well, you just have to trim it at the end more, but it's good to start with a rounder piece of clay than I had. Okay, so all of this is, I probably should have made them a little wider so it wouldn't take so long, but anyway. It'll all come together. So you cut the whole piece into strips. And this is why you want to start with a piece that's fairly wet because it does dry out pretty quickly with all this cutting into strips and everything. But because it's so soft, I'm having to hold back this edge. Every time I cut through this edge, it wants to pull toward me. So I cut a little, and I don't want to stretch it so much. So I'm holding this down with my thumb so that it doesn't get all stretched and a lot thinner as I cut it. Just don't want the strips to be too different in thickness. And that may be enough. Can always cut this end piece later. So now I'm going to cut the rest of it. So I used to make these with, we'd make Easter baskets with the elementary school kids, and it was really fun. They turned out so cute. And I'll show you, there are different ways to make a little handle for them too. If you are making an Easter basket, if you're making a bread basket, you may or may not want a handle. And if you're wanting, oh, I broke that one, huh? See, that's because I didn't support the ends as I cut through it. So this one broke, but I can fix it if I need to.
Is there a certain number of
Nope.
strips that you're?
No, you just pick take your piece of clay, decide how wide you want your woven pieces, you know, your whatever they are made of, raffia, it wouldn't be raffia, it would be caning or whatever it is. It's clay this time. But so I'm holding the ends so that I don't stretch the clay at the end there. So Jan, as she said, her pieces were a 1/2 inch thick. Did you say, Jan?
Yes, a 1/2 inch thick.
I think mine looked to me to be about 3/8 of an inch. They're more than 1/4. But I used to make some with really, really thin strips, which is can make a really pretty, not very useful, but a very pretty basket. Okay. Okay.
Lattice.
Now I'm just going to set these ends out a little bit. We may or may not want them. I'm going to take every other strip and I'm going to lay them down in, you can't see it, can you? In order. In order just on this board. Where is it? Yoo-hoo, where are you, board?
You that's what I'm like.
On
What's
the
this?
board over here. Everything's falling off. So I just have them on a board over here. Oh, there we go. There it is. And I'm just going to lay them side by side with a little space in between them, just like there's space in between these pieces that I'm leaving on this board. But I'm going to keep them in order on the board I'm laying on. They don't have to be any particular amount apart. I'm just saving them over there because this is going to be my warp that I'm leaving here on the board, and the ones I'm selecting and taking out, every other one, are going to be the weft of the weaving, in case you have woven before and are familiar with warps and wefts. Weft of this. I'm going to attach, that's where that one broke. Probably because I rolled it out so quickly here. So if the clay is really wet, I'm trying to be really careful so I don't break any more of my strips, because I want that space in between them to be pretty constant. I'm going to straighten them a little bit. Ah, that one's going to just keep breaking. Let me just save it as an extra one and move these closer together.
Isn't that cheating?
Yep. But it's very practical.
Sometimes you just have to be an outlaw.
That's
Yep.
right. But
I'm a woman.
the next two, I'm not going to take out the one in between. So, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I might run out though, then of strips, having a,
And I'm gonna
bit
have to use
longer.
2 different pieces because mine wasn't big enough, so that's gonna kind of jam things up, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Oh, what do you mean?
I've rolled out 2 pieces of clay, so I have to cut them. They're not gonna.
No, boo, but we're going to make more than one basket.
Okay,
So just use your one piece of clay and take out every other one.
okay, but it wasn't.
You have to take them out right now, or we're just separating and making them
Yeah.
separate?
You have to take them out.
Okay, where am I putting them?
Just on, next to you on the table. But
In
so
order. And we're keeping them in order.
we're keeping them in order, but even that's not that important. Now I've lost track of where I am.
It's important to me.
It's important to you. You're right.
I'm a little too OCD for that kind of thing.
Because you can look and see which ones are longer as to which ones
I can figure this out. I'll just
you can figure it out.
kind of separate them on
It's
my
just a
board.
little-
But you want to have half of them laying on your board with space in between them and half of them to the side where you can pick them up one at a time.
Mary Jane, your camera's going off. I mean, you're off the,
Oh, I know. Let me
That's
see
it.
if I can. Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, there.
Thanks for the heads up. Let's see. You'll be able, I know, I'm a little, this camera, I need to make it a little higher is what I need to do so it takes in more space. Let's put it up on here. I don't know if that's, where's my little shell that I,
So the very last piece with the little rounded edge, you're just gonna,
yeah, I don't know if we're going to use that.
Yeah.
We'll see. So this one is,
might be a handle or something.
yeah, could be, or we may need another short piece, I don't know. So you want these arranged so they're kind of in equal distance apart, more or less. And then you're going to go back and look at all these pieces that you have over at the side. And I'm going to pick the longest one, which is going to go all the way across the middle.
Are you trying, what if your bowl you find out is now too big when you're,
Then you can, well, you don't have, it doesn't have to cover the bowl.
okay,
It just has to be curved.
okay.
So I'm going to set this down in the middle and then I'm going to find,
Oh, on that.
now I'm going to weave it, but I'm not going to start from the edge. I'm going to start from the middle. So it goes over here and then I'm going to pick this one up. So it goes under the next one. So can you see it went over this one and under this one? Now it goes over this one. I'm going to pick this one up and then this one up. Goes over, under. Of course, you
You
could
just,
do a tweed weave or anything if you're a fancy weaver, but we're not doing that today.
So these, I don't have very many. You have quite a few.
I do.
You put them the distance apart that in the end you kind of want them to be.
Exactly.
I see. I didn't realize we were weaving right on this little
Yes.
plate here.
So it goes, so now
Okay,
I'm going
let's
back to
start
the
over
middle.
then.
So I've done this side, I'm going back to the middle and I'm going to complete going in the other direction. Under, and then this one goes over and this one goes under. This one goes over and this goes under.
Oh, I want a small one here.
And then I can,
There.
it looks like I would have room for one more piece here on the end. So this is one of my little end pieces, right? And I'm going to cut one more strip and just put it in there.
I make my pie crust.
That's right. It's exactly like making a pie crust. Well,
Is that how you make your pie crust? I always, this is so much easier.
What do you do?
I never do because I'm like, once the dough is there, I'm like,
the secret is to start in the middle.
The secret is to start on the flat piece, not on the pie.
Oh, right. Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but how would you get it to the pie from there?
Oh, easy. It'll hold together.
That could be a cookie sheet on top or something, a
use the
plate with,
I just
Parchment
leave it on
paper.
top of the,
yeah, you put something on top and then something on the bottom to,
So now I'm going to take another of the long pieces
hey, now I'll do that.
and I'm going to lay it across with the ends coming out where I want them. I'm going to go back to the middle, which is, right now it's over everything, right? So this one was under, this long one was under on the last round. So now I'm going to go over.
You designate one being the middle, but not when you have an even amount.
Well, it doesn't matter. You just pick where you start.
Pick one, you pick
You
one.
could start at the edge, but I've tried, it's easier.
No,
to start
because
at-
then it's
Exactly, it's much easier to start at the middle.
it's
because
much
that is-
easier to start this way.
Yeah, because then if your clay happens to be a little drier, you can get.
And
into
you don't have
problems.
to slip and score.
You don't have to slip and score.
Wow, look, this old cat made it upstairs.
Good for the cat.
Exercise. I might have to carry him down.
Yeah.
Down is a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
dog like that. I have to carry her up the stairs after she goes out in the backyard. Then she starts going.
Oh, I don't know. It's how big of a dog?
Oh, she's 10 pounds or even 9. She's
Oh, so she's not.
no, she's a little thing.
Okay, and then I'm moving on to my third.
To the next one on the right,
one.
if you wish.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna,
And if they're too
keep it-
long, then you're just
keep
like,
it even.
oh, what a
Well, right now, yeah, right now you don't worry about the edges. After we.
But you do worry about starting in the right.
Yeah, and you
place.
want, and about the spacing that you have here, because you're not going to change, unlike a basket made of cane where you can kind of tighten up the spacing and all that. You can't do that with these. I mean,
Mine's
once
gonna be
you-
Yeah,
open.
it's too sticky.
Oh,
So again, I'm just looking at the over, under.
yeah, when I make my pies, I just do this right on top of the fruit.
Yeah, I do.
you
too.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, I might try this on a pie.
Yeah, it's easy.
Do you find you need more dough or less or the same? Same.
I
The
cheat
same.
on the dough. I don't make my own. I just get the pie crusts, those holy ones, organic ones, and I just put one of them out to soften, and then I put my hands where the bend that's supposed to be the pan.
Mm-hmm.
After I take it out of the pan, and I just hold my hands on it, and it softens and it shrinks down till it's sort of flat, and then you just cut it like this, and then you just lay the strips on top of. You have your crust, you put the fruit in, and then you just start doing this on top of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't move it.
Well, you just bring.
I see, that would work. And then the pie bakes together, so.
Right.
Right.
Right. So you can make it a tight weave if you want to keep it, or a nice open weave if you want to show off the berries or whatever's
Mhm.
inside.
I love the woven crust on the top.
That's the only kind I make. I love it.
Me too. Although my husband only loves the, like a Dutch apple crust. the
Oh, he likes
sweet
the French apple
Those
pie.
are easy.
French apple. Yeah, those are really easy. So I
But
make
what does
that a
that?
lot.
What does that have on it?
Well, I use my
Yeah.
homemade granola and some extra.
It's like a cobbler crust, right?
oats, yeah, and some butter and brown sugar and cinnamon. And you're making me hungry for pie.
I know. Me too.
I want the fruit season to come in here. I guess we'll get it soon enough, huh?
At the co-op, they right now have on sale 2-pound bags of blueberries, frozen blueberries for $9.99.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
That's a lot of blueberries. That's enough to make a blueberry pie
Oh.
if you like blueberry pie.
I love blueberry pie.
Who
but
doesn't?
Yeah,
That's a,
but my husband doesn't like it, so that means I eat the whole thing.
Oh,
Oh, that's
you don't want to
trouble.
eat the whole thing.
That's trouble.
No, that's trouble. So usually I wait till somebody's coming to visit.
Yeah.
well, I used up my last pumpkin and I made a pumpkin chocolate cake last night.
Oh,
And I haven't even tasted it.
Oh my gosh.
that sounds really moist.
Yeah. Sounds
It
healthy.
was, yeah, I told him he wasn't supposed to taste it till today, but he did. He tasted it last night. No doubt.
Is it supposed to settle for a night or something?
That's what it said in the recipe. It could have been vegan, but I was trying to use things that it's funny how much now with COVID, I'm like totally, what's in the fridge and what could I make with it?
Well, yeah.
Mary
cool.
Jane.
It's so much more. So I was like, I made my pumpkin puree and I added some ricotta cheese and then I
Yeah.
added like
What,
the
Someone
milk.
tried to text you.
But
Mary
it
Jane.
could have been vegan. It was a
I found
vegan
it
recipe.
Jenny, just a second. Jan's trying to.
I've
ask-
heard a ding twice.
I
from you.
know.
It's me.
Good.
It's me. I can mute that.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I
Okay.
didn't think it was me. I have my phone here
No.
in case
Okay.
anybody. And
It's
so-
the
and
end of the month.
I've gotten some
Hey,
texts,
a
but-
non-pie question?
a non-pie
non-pie.
question. This
Oh,
this
Clay-
middle
Clay
piece that I had was exceptionally thick, but
There,
I-
do not disturb. Look at
Fine.
how big yours is. Mine is teeny. It's
Mine
gonna
is
have to
teeny.
go in a small bowl.
that's okay.
So Mary Jane, how thick was your slab? Is it a little thicker than normal? Is it kind of thin? Is it better to not go too
This
thin
this is thicker than I usually make it.
in order to
honestly,
be sturdy for this
But
process?
be dirty, and so I wouldn't run into problems. And
Mhm.
thick is fine. It doesn't really matter.
So the
Oh.
reason you go every other is for why do you pull them out, each one?
Because it looks good. It's all about
And
appearance.
do we have to stop now that our slab is done? Can I use my other slab?
Well,
Because it's
Yeah.
so
so let me,
small.
well, do you have a bowl that it will fit in or over?
Maybe a tray would be better. It's more like a rectangle.
Well, it doesn't, no, because you can cut it into a circle. I'm gonna finish mine up quickly so I can show you what I mean.
So, and Mary Jane, you're not actually scoring or slipping or pressing anything
No,
to
not at
But-
this point. I was gonna show some different ways. There are different things, once you get it all woven, you can roll it. Oh, I have another,
Oh, okay.
you can roll it and flatten it and stick them together that way. I didn't have a very good slab, because I had another crack in
Rectangle.
a crack in this one. Or I also grabbed a little shell, little barnacle shell that I have that you can use and press into where,
Oh.
but I was, and make a little mark there. But I was going to wait till okay, so this is still a really long one. It's going to be too long. Let me move this over. Too long. for-
That's not mine.
and that was me.
I
Um,
muted mine.
But it's just people about they're texted me about the firing that's going on. So
Oh, okay.
no worries.
It's also busy, all that firing.
I know. They think I'm so.
Thank you
how much-
so much for getting me into the clay again. I was focused on other things.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I know it's still a crazy
Hard
time.
sometimes.
Things are looking up with the vaccinations. I think.
They are,
So-
but it's also, see, for me, tax season is coming and
Oh, that's
people, I
right.
got 2 or 3 new clients that are, oh, I never do my books. Could you do them for me
Oh, no.
Oh, geez.
now? Yeah, I'm like, I'm a slut, guys. I'm a slut. If I have the time, I'm
Ask
all,
her
okay,
that.
yeah,
Can you
sure,
do
right.
mine?
Pardon?
Can you do mine?
The,
Well, I charge. Sure. I mean, well,
Hate to
maybe
turn
I
you-
should get done with these before I say yes, to be honest with you.
I
Might be
actually
smart.
have somebody, but he's in Idaho.
Oh, I don't do taxes. I just do the book for the taxes.
Oh, no. Okay, I don't need that.
For business people.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a business person at all.
No.
Okay, there we go.
Anyway, back to pottery.
Back to pottery. So, so
Mary
I'm
Jane,
finishing up.
did you put the cheesecloth underneath it to be able to lift it up, or how is?
Oh,
the-
you can lift it up, I think. I've
Oh.
never done that, but that's a good idea. I like the idea.
That was a good idea, but
If
now.
you're a little late with it, thank you very much.
Oh, well, I'm curious how you're gonna get that whole shebang.
Aren't we all? Okay.
bowl.
So I have here. So I have my woven piece, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care that the pieces aren't all completely the same length or symmetrical or nothing. I don't care about much of anything with this project. So, and I have, you know what, let me switch the screen share so you can see this. I think it'll be easier. So I'm using this big bowl. I'm just going to put it over the bottom
Okay.
of this big bowl. I could put it, this has a nice round inside, so I could put it inside, but I think I'm going to want a flat bottom on it anyway. So I thought it would be easier to just drape it over the outside. So
And
let's
put it
see
on
if I
this.
might be easier
As far
to
as the
see.
finished look, is it better
see
to do
this
it
way.
inside or outside?
I'm putting this one on the outside. You
Is
can
that
do either. And I have some extra pieces left over too. You don't worry about that. I don't have a lot left over. Sometimes it comes out even and other times not. So I'm just going to so carefully.
This is the best thing. I'm gonna put it on this.
Pick this up
Mine is a rectangle.
and look, see it all pretty much all hangs together.
Yep.
Good for us. I thought it would have just fallen apart.
No, because the clay's sticky, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to press it into the shape that where I'm into my cord, it looks like. That's not what I want to do. It's coming down about the same amount. So now I have to decide, I have these, points because it ends up having corners, right? Since it's made out of strips. So I can do several different things, or I could have rolled it on when it was flat and flattened it and flattened them together, which is a great way to get them to stick together. These will stick together just by being gently pressed down with your hands. Or you can take, I have one here. You can take a spoon and just lightly tap it all over. I kind of like keeping the texture pretty, strong rather than flattening it
This
too much.
one's wrong.
And now I
that
can
happen?
decide if I wanted the edge to be round. Jan put a beautiful edge on her bread bowl that she had as an example by making a strip that all the pieces ran into.
I did it wrong.
And I think, Jan, did you fold that strip over the edge or just?
I found an error.
Is sticking to
It's
the.
been a while since I made it.
It's sticking to your bowl, Suzanne?
it was, I think I made kind of a coil that I flattened, and then I just, the outside is more, you can see the coil line. The inside, I kind of worked it more into the weave.
Can you hold it up a little bit again, Jan? It's that you're down below the,
I
yeah,
can't.
okay. Oh, yeah.
On the inside, I smoothed it more, the
Mhm.
coil.
That makes sense.
And then the outside,
I messed this up.
Then you trimmed all
Fix
those
it.
pieces. of
Yeah,
it?
so,
Yeah, I trimmed the extra, I think.
so you can, more notes from the kiln. So we could trim this off evenly and make an even, basket with an even edge. Or we could just let it set up and have it, have a more irregular, sticking up, odd edged bed. Odd edged edge. I can't even speak.
You have a glass of water.
Yeah, whatever you preferred. You, as you're pressing it onto the form, you don't need to worry if your pieces remain perfectly straight or not. And I had thought that I would try
Okay, let's try this again.
pressing the little shell into the crossovers. Well, I don't know if it looks so good. Kind of, it's kind of interesting. It's not a bad, it helps, it will help them stay together, but they will not come apart for two reasons. One, because the clay is sticking to itself, and the other reason because they're woven, and when you weave something, that's why you weave fibers, so that they stay together, right?
Right.
I hope so.
I hope so. Otherwise our clothing would just be pieces of string that would fall
All
off.
off of us.
Yeah. So I was thinking I could maybe turn this over. I don't know if it's,
I'm trying this new technique, this is not. Oh, come. I need to slip something under it. Here we go.
okay. So if I flip this over, it's going to just completely flatten. Never mind. It was way too wet.
Uh-oh.
Is
Uh-oh.
it too, put it back on?
Over the bowl.
Yeah, I put it, yeah, I thought maybe it had, I was being really silly. See if I can rescue it. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. See, it's just fine.
Hopefully optimistic.
Yeah, the edges came apart a little bit, but
Oh, I know.
Oh, yes.
I'll just press it back together. Okay,
Okay,
so
now I think I can pick up this under here. This.
you probably are,
Then do that. Oop. Oopa.
you're probably noticing that the tips of your pieces are getting drier
Yeah.
Yeah,
than anything else. And so
not happy.
that's another good reason to put an edge on, but I've always really liked the irregular edge. So I'm going to quick start on another one that I'm just going to do in this little bowl here. I'll show you. So I'm just going to make a little Easter basket in this little bowl, which should be pretty quick rather than a giant bread basket. And I have rolled out another smaller piece of clay to make this little Easter basket.
Is it possible, Mary Jane, to do 2 different colors of clay and then
Sure.
weave them together like that with
Yeah.
darkness?
That's what I was thinking too. It'll be fun.
Pretty.
I think that's a good idea. Okay,
I think
so I'm going to cut this again into strips. Let's see, which way am I going to do it? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't make too much difference. Oops. It's good that wasn't a sharp knife. I would have cut off my finger. And we will put a little handle on this one. We may need to stuff the basket with newspapers and something to hold up the handle, or you can put the handle on after it gets leather hard.
Mhm.
So you did a little tapping on the weave just to snug it together?
Snug it together. Yeah, you don't have to, but it's at the same time, it's not a bad idea, especially if you're leaving if you're not doing anything to the edge.
I'm using
Mhm.
marble and I'm making little round indentations.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Oh,
Can
show,
you show us, Suzanne?
yes.
Hold your phone or,
Oh, yes.
And here's my marble.
Oh, that looks really sweet.
But I have to wet the marble each time because otherwise it sticks in there.
You can wet it or you can dip it in cornstarch.
Oh, okay. I'm wetting it, so I'm already doing it. And it
Yeah,
works.
that's
well.
okay. So I'm setting my big basket to the side where it can dry a little bit. So,
so
and so
don't
I have,
those uneven edges tend to break if you're kind of handling it or washing it, isn't it?
we
Aren't they a little-
can. Yeah, it's not as practical with the edges left. I start taking this apart. I'm not supposed to do that. It's not as practical, but I think it looks neat, but that's just me.
Mhm.
So Jan's, you probably noticed, has a really nice sturdy edge. So that makes a much more practical bread or fruit basket for sure.
Mhm.
Now on these, well, you can't see it that well from there, but oh, I see my problem. Switch the camera here. On these, some of my ends are really thin. I didn't cut very accurately, and it doesn't really matter with this project. It's a very forgiving project.
Is this the one where you did it with the kids?
Yeah, I would make Easter baskets with,
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
it was fun. So then you take one that's long enough to go across all of your pieces, and you go over, under, over, under, and again to the edge. The nice thing about this project is that, yeah, it's so forgiving, and so you can make mistakes with the weaving. Kids who had problems with the over under, because I did it with a lot of kids like in kindergarten and first grade. They still end up with a nice product that's really kind of fun. And then we'd make little chickens and eggs to go in them and stuff too, if we had time, or at the next week's project. Or little bunny rabbits. I loved making little pinch pots and then just turning them upside down and putting ears and a tail on them and turning them into little rabbits. It's so cute.
When is Easter?
It is Easter. That's why I thought this could be a fun project to end.
Not Easter, not till April. It's on my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, that's what I
By
wanted
the
to
time it gets fired though.
By the time, yeah, Tony, yeah. You may hope they're ready by.
It's early this year, I think.
Oh, you're fast with the kilns, the firing.
Yeah, I know.
You're fast, boy. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that yet.
You weren't ready, yeah. Well, you know, with, for a while there, when Vicky was, and Jody were making all their birdhouses, then I was just getting so much stuff
Gonna be a
processed.
deluge now that Vicky's leaving today for Palm,
I
Palm
know.
wherever.
It's a big slowdown. I think Jody may have stopped with it, with the birdhouses too. I'm not sure. There aren't any on my shelf right now.
Well, at some point, I think you're like, okay.
Okay, yeah,
It was like me and the hearts.
right.
But now I've given away all my heart bowls. I'm like, oh, I need some more heart bowls.
More heart bowls. Well, I'm ready for warm weather and outdoor workshops.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, boy, but I don't,
You think they're gonna start in April?
oh, I don't
weather-
think the weather will be good enough,
Weather-
but we'll see. I don't know. I have to see what March brings. I need to get perspective.
I guess we might want March to have entry like a lion. Is it April or March? Which month is supposed to come in roaring,
Roaring and
going
leaving.
out bawling?
In like a lion, out like a lion.
Yeah,
March.
I think that's.
Which one, March or April?
March.
March.
Yeah,
April showers brings Mayflower.
hours.
Flowers.
This is-
Okie dokie. So, very close here. Now for this one, I'm going to cut it in a circle so that we have a decent edge. Whoop.
Stand up.
So the other edge was indecent.
That's right. You got it, Katya.
Poor
Watch
Ed.
it. So today, the three of us who were working on the kiln earlier, Mike, who designed the kiln, said that he and Ryan, Matt had been talking and decided that maybe our group should be called Potters of Orcus. So, because then our initials would be Pooh. So,
That's
so
hilarious.
I said, well, then maybe we should call our kiln Winnie. Name the
There you go.
That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, Potters, I tell ya. So I'm going to cut this, but I'm going to cut it a little outside. You could take a paper plate to get it round. How did you make yours round, Jan? Did you just cut it to the size of the bowl?
Yeah, I did cut it to the size of the bowl.
So I was going to slip this inside this bowl and stretch it a little bit. So, but I'm cutting off these edges to get it
Mhm.
rounder. But I'm just eyeballing it. On the edge. Okay. So there's my bowl. Here's some more cheesecloth. I should wash this cheesecloth. So dirty. But if you just kind of work your fingers under the edge of the clay, you can pick these up. But doing it on a plate or piece of something is not a bad idea, certainly. But there's mine sitting on top of its cheesecloth. I'm just going to gentle it down into the bowl and work on shrinking the edges, stretching the bottom and shrinking. The edges are going to kind of collapse into each other. So it's going to lose some of its, the precise wovenness that I had made it with is going to be compromised. But
Oh, well.
yeah, I know. I mean, because it's bunching up here. But I think all those things make it interesting, you know? Because if it's all even and perfect, then you can buy those, you know?
Yeah.
They make them in China. You can buy them for really cheap. So anyway, it's
And they're
sticking-
probably plastic too.
yeah, it's sticking up on this edge. So I'm going to trim this off. Part of it is a little bit below the edge. So I'm going to trim it off so it's fairly even around the edge. And then I'm going to make a coil
That's what
to
I want.
put on the edge.
It kind of helps hold it together.
Definitely helps hold it together. But at the same time, I'm not going to worry about it not being real flat here. You can see that's sticking up a little bit. Could cut that off, I suppose, but I'm going to finish the edge by adding another coil, not by, you could finish the edge just by smoothing this, I suppose, but. And I'm going to press it a little bit to flatten the coils, flatten the strips onto each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's off center in your bowl, the lovely thing about cheesecloth is you can just kind of pull it to center it. Okay, so I'll see if this is wet enough still for me to roll into a coil.
On top.
Okay.
I think I'm going to cut this in half because it's too much clay for me to roll, and then just join. There are different ways that look more woven. Not doing a very good job getting this coil round. Come on, coil.
Oh, dear.
I find if I can get it pretty round, then I can lengthen it by rolling from the middle with my fingers apart further to make my hand bigger, I guess. And roll from the center out to the ends and stretch it that way, and well, in each direction.
Over, under.
And then I'm going to see if it's going to be long enough. Close. So I'm just going to roll it a little bit more.
That's the trick.
Over.
But I'm going to roll two of them and then twist them because it looks, that looks really cool. Makes a really cool edge. Oops, got that a little cracky in the middle.
By cracky.
Bye, cracky.
Sounds like a Chinese proverb.
What's that?
Lie upside down. Wait, what is it? Have crack up.
Crack up.
Have crack up. That's a stupid one my brother told me when we were little kids.
Okay, close. Okay. So now I've got my 2 and I'm going to twist them.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm going to twist them a little bit more here by and then I think this will work. Then I'm going to gently roll them. This is too complicated for the first graders, let me tell you. Didn't do this for the first grader. Then I'm going to gently roll it.
Yeah, gentle, that's a
Oh.
term.
Yeah, there wasn't gentle enough.
That's a term you get across to a kindergartner in the first grade.
So I'm going to do a little redo on that.
Just be gentle down there now, children.
Yeah, I didn't twist it enough, but
And some, that will mean there won't be any pressure at all.
I know some won't even touch it. Another one.
And some it will be like, bam.
Okay, so maybe it's better not to roll it. But anyway, it's still kind of interesting. Let me see if this one's going to keep its shape. Yep. It's nice and little and I pressed it in. So
Nice.
so let's see. I'm going to switch cameras again because I think you can see it better from this side.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to take my little braid.
Okay.
And decide how I'm going to attach it. I think I'll attach it on the outside of the basket. Now you could use slip here, of course. But I'm hoping that it's all still wet enough.
So far behind.
That's okay. It's not a race.
Yeah, but I'm so paying attention to this. I'm not really watching what you're doing. So.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why it's a video. We could go later.
Yeah, I'm just pressing.
It will dry
I'm
out
just
time.
pressing this into the rolled piece I made.
Oh,
That-
just, I
that
see.
I'm a little sad that I tried to flatten it. I thought it would flatten better, but it didn't. Maybe I don't know if that's a good idea or not. So so it's not looking very good.
Not?
It's not looking very good, but I'm going to smooth my basket, which has lost the bottom's gone really flat because I took it out of its mold.
I think it's almost time to stop this episode.
Really?
No, for me, my clay is telling me stop weaving
Oh, I see.
and let it. I think I'll add the top when I get it.
What I'm going to do is set mine back in the bowl so it will set up with a nicer at the sides, you know.
So
I need to figure out how to make a nicer edge for this.
So if we've taken ours, if we haven't taken it out of the bowl, we can just leave it in the bowl.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can. Let's see. So I kind of have it fastened in here. you can,
No, I
just
don't.
as with weaving, you can decide to do these attachments all sorts of different ways. Here, I'm gonna set this back in its bowl so that it gets a better
It's a bit.
bottom. It's a little, now, of course, the edge, this edge that I added is wider than the bowl, but I can push the inside down so that it's going to be a little deeper. And after it sets up a little bit more, then I can take it out and it'll have its little flat bottom on it. I was going to say here where it's getting attached, I could look at my outside, the pattern I have on the outside and recreate that some on the inside if I wanted to. You can, maybe it's easier to see here, the overlapping of the curled edge, the rolled edge, and just keep that pattern going and smooth this in. I don't know. You can figure it out. You guys are all really smart and good with clay. Figure out what looks the best for you as far
Finish the edge.
as finishing the edge. And maybe it would look better to put one coil on the inside and one on the outside, But all of the projects we've been doing, honestly, the next day I come back to them and spend another hour or so finishing them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not done when the show is over. Several of the jars that we made and stuff are in the wood firing.
Oh,
So you can see them. I made them out of the Cone 10 clay so that I could put them and have things to put in the wood kiln. So, but I'll go back and mess with, because this looks crummy the way it's attached right now. And when I did it with the kids, we didn't put edges on them. We just we would do handles, and mostly we'd just roll out the clay and cut a flat handle and maybe put some imprints in it
mhm.
to make it interesting.
Did you ever put their names on the bottom?
Yes. What do you think?
I have names.
Okay, I'm gonna put this inside.
So, yeah, so what time is it? So we could roll out a handle, and put a little handle across it. And the handle, it would be pretty to do the handle with this, a twisted handle would look really pretty. Or you can do, I don't know if I can make it happen. One of my teachers had a really fun way he'd make handles for his cups, for his mugs, by just making a fat coil and then using a ruler or the edge of a board to make a braided look. Have you ever done that, Jan?
No.
It's kind of magical. I'll see if I can make it work for
I
you.
want to know because I make a lot of mugs.
I know, and it is a neat handle.
Well,
This is a little. This
It really is drying out. I'm surprised.
my clay is getting dry too. I was going to do one other basket, and we may not get to it, which was kind of my favorite, really, was to make a berry basket. And I got this, square mold and just drape,
oh,
do
yeah.
your basket circle and just drape it over the square and then pinch the edges together, and you end up with these really cool looking square baskets that look like, berry or tomato baskets.
Mine's over mine was really a long rectangular piece of slab, so it wasn't round at all.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
So I got it over a rectangular, it's a
Mhm.
butcher block, butcher tray.
yeah, what I used to put mine over was the milk cartons. I drape them over the bottom of
Um,
a milk carton that I'd cut off so that it would stand up.
but it's gonna have to,
Oh, I can't get this round.
I'll have to finish the top later because it's upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, then you just let it set up. And I always liked it with the different length edges sticking up. I thought it looked kind of exotic. This is not good. I better get a fresh piece of clay. I don't think this is going to work. Where is I just need to get a stick. Hang on a second.
Don't know how flat it's gonna be. I feel like I need to name on here for one thing.
No, this isn't round enough. Never mind. It's not rolling, so I have a little bit more clay here somewhere. Oh, I set this.
Mary Jane, I have a question.
Yeah.
So this is my smaller one and I put it on the inside of the bowl. So I've got all this extra stuff. Do I just cut it off around?
You can just cut it off, or you can, if you don't mind it, you can just leave it too.
Okay.
Or sometimes, sometimes I folded over the long ones and just attached it back in. I mean, I would play with it, just play with it and see what appeals to you,
Okay. Okay, I got it. I understand.
yeah, so sometimes putting on a rim is a good idea, and sometimes you may not want to. I mean, I think, so Jan, can you explain, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm kind of
Come
here.
on.
Kind of.
Explain how you did such a nice job on your rim, but I know it takes some time to get a good rim on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of messing around. That bigger one that I did, I actually used two. They were large coils, and then I rolled it out and flattened it, and then attached it.
One
And
on
then
the inside, and one on the
Italian-
outside.
Yeah, it's a long. I think it was on the outside. Yeah. Yeah.
But I know you spent a long time.
I did spend a lot of time.
Mhm. Clay is, unless you're a production potter, clay does not happen instantly. Or if you're making a movie like Ghost.
Right.
Okay, let's
Can
see.
you imagine the amount of work they put into those Wallace and Gromit claymation movies?
Oh,
I know.
Years of that.
Kinesthetic people working on that.
Yeah, you have to make every single move they make into another.
Right.
Creature.
It started with Gumby.
Oh,
Remember Gumby?
okay.
yeah, I remember.
They did that with him. That's how he.
Oh.
I don't know, for people who love to draw, then I have one of those.
Okay.
That is a dream job.
Did you see
Yeah.
what I just did?
Oh,
Yeah, you hold it and then,
I rolled it. So now if I
oh, look it.
turn
Oh,
it in the other direction,
It was 2 coils,
nope, it was
No,
a
she just-
coil.
1 coil.
we
And
weren't
now
paying
I'm going to
attention.
roll it. Let me start at this edge. So now if I roll,
Oh.
take this board and roll it in this direction.
nice.
Oh, neat. Look at that.
You get
Gotta have
this
an-
really
Is the
pretty.
board in the indentation?
what makes, you're just doing it flat on there.
Yeah, well, I had a coil and I rolled
But
it.
the board is just flat, or is it
Oh, the board
slight?
just, oh, this is just a regular, it's a piece of wood with a corner. So I think when my teacher did it, he used a ruler to do it. So you do it in one direction
Mhm.
and then you do it in the other direction. And you
Rinse
end
it.
up with, it ends up looking braided. Now, since I've done it a few different times on this piece,
It's
and
pretty soon.
I'm running into everything around me.
Gonna
But,
be dreadlocks if you keep going.
but let me put this on. So I think you'll be able to see it better with it. See how pretty it looks?
It looks
Yeah.
very nice, so simple.
So simple. So I can make a handle for my, I think sometimes I just made these for the kids. And on my little basket. And I can get it to stand up by stuffing where are we here? Stuffing newspaper in here, or something. to Hold it up. But it's a fun way and it does make a really neat handle. And you can take this and flatten it a little bit too, just, by patting it flat. In order to roll it, it has to be round. As you saw with my failure before. But even, double rolling it, I think there's a really pretty little design right there. Double or triple, making a whole bunch of lines, but it ends up, he used to just whip them out and just go and make, and then go in the other direction and it looks braided, which I always thought was kind of cool. So if I make a little basket like that, stuff some newspaper or something in here to hold it up. I don't think that's not going to be enough, but you get the idea. I have a bunch of napkins here from when I brought snacks out to the studio. And I don't have anybody here to eat them with me. So if I cut this off, I have to think how I want to fasten it, right? A little bit. Make my Easter basket. That's not going to be enough stuffing,
Ooh,
but you get the idea. Maybe it'll balance up. But you could also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to let it harden up on your board. First, put it in the curve that you want it to be in, like that, and let it harden up a little bit. And then attach it. Okie dokie. What are you eating, Katya?
I was just gonna say, I made ulu fries. You know what ulu is?
No.
Suzanne, do you know what ulu is?
Of course, breadfruit.
Breadfruit. I'll show you what it looks like. It's so cool.
It's huge, isn't it?
Well, they can be smaller, depends, but they're not necessarily big. They're not as big as some of those sour sops and stuff. Can you see this?
Yeah. Huh.
no, try again. I don't see you on there.
See me
Let's
either.
see. Let me see. There it is. Oh. Wow, what's it look like inside?
Well, this is what it looks like fried up. Like it's better than a potato. There I am. And you just use a little
Oh.
coconut oil. And I love them. I'm now in love with them.
It's to die for.
They get ripe and then they become sweet like a fruit, and you can eat them more starchy and less ripe, and they're more like a potato. And you can put them in stew. You can put them in.
Huh.
And they're
They grow on a tree? They're
yeah,
fruit.
big, huge tree with gorgeous. I'll take a picture of the leaf there. Like beautiful philodendron sort of leaves with lots of
Oh, wow.
really
Big, huge.
big
Oh,
trees. Yeah.
wow.
Very cool.
That is so cool.
Maybe I'll make a little square basket out of, because I rolled out one more piece of clay. And then I'll send you guys a picture
Okay.
of it, because I mean, we could go 15 more minutes.
So Vicky, is that yours that was going up over the edge?
Who's Vicky?
Vicky's
Oh, I
not.
mean, oh, I'm sorry.
Suzanne?
Suzanne.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had one going up over the edge.
This
Is that you,
one.
Suzanne?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, there it is. That's cool.
Oh, that looks cool. Oh, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it.
I'll figure out what to do with the overlap later.
Yeah, when you pull it off, just be sure that it's not, tucked under so that
Right.
it won't pull off.
Right, right. That's true. That's true.
But you can just leave it curved, and a little loose, and then you can pull it off in 20 minutes or half an hour and then bend them the rest of the way and attach them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that looks sweet.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing it in the studio. So if any of you want more clay, it looks like I will be getting some more clay. I still have quite a bit of clay. I just don't have any desert gold.
Oh, you do have desert gold?
Do
I
not.
do
Does-
not have desert gold.
What do you have?
You're almost
I would
half.
take,
I have Oregon red. I have some of both the speckles, the very speckled and the Idaho buff speckled, and I have both the black clays and Oregon brown, and a little bit of, but not much, porcelain. So I'm going to get more porcelain, and I'm going to get more desert gold.
Oh,
When do you think you'll get desert gold?
I think the bullocks will be coming through there on the 6th. So in a week. A little over a
I'd
week.
get,
when does the baby due?
April 7th, I think.
Having a baby.
Oh.
IMA's having a baby.
Really?
Yeah,
nice.
Cool.
she and
You might
Roby.
have it on Serena's birthday on the 4th.
Yeah, or
know-
That's Easter.
Sophia's birthday on the 5th.
How do you
Sophia who?
Sophia, my granddaughter.
Ah. Well, there's a lot. Jim Breda was born on the 5th.
Ah,
And a lot of people I know on the 5th. Serena came 15 minutes prior to.
she was
So
in,
it-
was she in a hurry? Did she come quickly, or?
She did.
So
Yeah.
she didn't want to be born on the 5th then.
I don't know what it was, but she likes to be on time. That's what it is,
Oh, aha.
I think.
Katya, was there some clay that you particularly wanted? Did you?
Yeah, I like it. I like some desert gold. still have some of the dark, so desert gold would be. I won't even be back until the 4th, so I can just pick some up when you have it, and I'll come by.
Okay,
and
I
get
want to
those.
be sure to order. You want like a half bag or a bag?
I have bags, great for now. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the speckled.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think right now I have the speckled buff. What is the other speckled you have?
The other speckled is a warmer color. It's a little more like desert gold, and it has lots of speckles.
Can I have a bag of that? How
Uh-huh.
much do you have?
I have one bag of that, I think, right now.
So I would take a half a bag and share with Suzanne.
Okay, well,
I don't want to hog it all.
should I get more? I mean, that's what I'm asking if I should, or I'm happy to
No,
order.
I never know. I just get what's,
I would use some.
Okay, so I'll get,
I
I'll
would
get,
get half. Half of a bag is plenty for me.
Okay.
Half a bag is good for me of a couple kinds. And right now, actually, I have 3 little bits of kinds and I like kind of, so
Yeah, you've
Let's
been doing
start-
some neat things with clay combinations.
I know, I really like that class and I almost did it with this, but I didn't know what we were doing. So I thought, oh, you better not.
Nice on this. This would be a
Yeah.
good one.
I thought we might try whenever we get going with doing some more pinch pots with adding different colored clays on the outside before you start pinching.
Oh,
that-
fun.
Yeah, Oak does that. She
Yeah,
does nice things with that.
I think the only difficulty is in smearing the colors. Again, you have to
Yeah,
do it more carefully. So I need to experiment with it a little bit more.
I think saran over it helps.
Right, but when you're pinching, it's
Yes, you could
hard to
put
have
it-
something because you're expanding it. It's a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
That's
just, I should experiment with a little bit more. In the book, it looks pretty simple, but
Of course.
you
so
know,
I
that-
made
Oh,
a tray once that was a coil, like the bowls we made,
uh-huh.
but it wasn't solid. You couldn't put liquid in it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I put my onions in it on the back porch.
Oh, nice.
there you
That's
go.
perfect. I might do, this is kind of neat one. Well, it's the ends are bizarre, but
I should stop the recording, huh? This is getting
Probably.
pretty rambly. Okay, nice seeing all of you.